There's two on your skull. Oh yeah, I have a lot more than
What?
I have a feeling we're being watched.
Slightly, just a little bit.
Good evening. I'm Tony Peretti, ex-councilman in Fanwood, and I have the honor and pleasure of doing a couple of things for you this evening. One of them will be the posting of the colors. I would ask the American Legion to come to attention and post the colors. Thank you. You may be seated, please. Today, we're very honored to have for evocation people right here from Fanwood. They're Buddhist monks, and I believe the Venerable Clint is going to do the invocation. Clint. And for first names, by the way.
Welcome, everyone. Oh, no, doesn't work. Okay. Well, welcome. And we're all gathered here today to honor our fallen heroes. So let us start by closing our eyes. Just gently close your eyes. Let go of all your thoughts, your worries, and responsibilities. Just let your mind feel at ease, at peace, for just a moment. Take this time to remember all the sacrifices they have made for our families, our community, and our country. They sacrificed everything to make it safer for us to live here in peace and with the freedoms we enjoy every day. So let us dedicate all our good deeds, our pure-hearted blessings, to our fallen heroes, our heroes in the present, and our living heroes, our veterans. May we join our goodness to bring them and their families this blessing, to be strong, healthy, and prosperous, have courage to fight on, and protection from harm. May they be filled with happiness for the rest of their days, and continue to have happiness and bliss in the heavens. And for all of you who have taken the time to come here and show your support to our heroes, may you all be blessed with happiness, good health, wealth, and success in your life. Bless you.
Thank you very much, Clint. Next, we will have the legislative flag. Would you all rise, please? Again, I want to remind the people that are veterans, it's up to you. Hold your hand over your heart. By act of Congress in 2008, they passed a law saying that if you're in civilian clothes, you can, and you have been in the military, you can present arms. I was in Korea, so I'm going to present arms. Okay, flags to my right, the American flag. I pledge allegiance Thank you very much. Please be seated. Next, we will have some opening remarks by our Fanwood Mayor, Colleen Marr, and following her will be Scotch Plains Mayor, Kevin Glover. Marr.
Good evening. Let every nation know, whether it wishes us well or ill, that we shall pay any price, bear any burden, meet any hardship, support any friend, oppose any foe, to assure the survival and success of liberty. Words by John F. Kennedy. Good evening and welcome to Fanwood Historic Train Station. We gathered here once again to pay respect to the men and women who served us, who gave their lives in the U.S. Armed Forces throughout the nation's history. This year, Memorial Day activities start tonight and are jointly sponsored by Fanwood and Scotch Plains. Tonight's activities fall just days before the 70th anniversary of D-Day, the invasion of Europe by Allied forces, and this year's remembrance is especially dedicated to the troops who gave their lives or were injured in battles. It is appropriate that we remember and honor the 6,000 plus American D-Day casualties, including the almost 3,000 killed just days before June 6th, the 70th anniversary of the invasion. I am very pleased to see so many of you as we do our third annual Memorial Day concert. I'm very pleased to welcome back the talented Westfield Community Band. Good to see them, isn't it? And I really am just so pleased to see so many of you from our two communities as we come here tonight. Tonight I have with me several of our local elected officials who serve Fanwood every day. I have Councilwoman Kathy Mitchell. I have Councilman Jack Molinar, Kevin Boris, Tom Krantz, Dan Levine, and Russ Ugel. I also want to give a special thanks to our Department of Public Works employees who decorated the train station, who decorated the stage, and who've been here all afternoon getting ready for tonight. I want to thank, exactly. And while I welcome you all back, I want to just say good evening and welcome to our Grand Marshal of our parade tomorrow, Mr. Malcolm Nettingham. Malcolm is a Scotch Plains resident. He is the class of 1936 from Scotch Plains Fanwood High School, and he is a member of the famed 300-strong Tuskegee Airmen of WW2. Mr. Nettingham, just stand up for one moment, please. Thank you. Mr. Nettingham is also a recipient of the Congressional Gold Medal. He is 95 years young, so we welcome here tonight. And because of what he has done for our country and for our community, if during the concert you happen to find your way into the train station where we do have restroom facilities, you will also see from the Scotch Plains Fanwood Black Student Union, they created a very short video in tribute that will be playing on a loop to Mr. Nettingham. So we welcome him and his family. I now would like to call forward our freeholder, Al Mirabella.
Well, thank you very much, Mayor. I'm going to keep my comments very short because you're here to hear this great band. But what a wonderful tradition we have here in Fanwood and Scotch Plains. The third year, I think every year, is getting bigger and bigger. And it's nice to display our patriotism and our love of our country, to honor the veterans that served us, and as well the men and women who died for us. So I want to wish you all a terrific night. Enjoy it. And I want to take this opportunity to introduce Assemblywoman Linda Stender, who's going to say a couple words too. Assemblywoman.
Thank you very much, Al. Good evening, everybody. I am so pleased to be here. I bring you greetings from Senator Scutari and Assemblyman Green, because together we really are so proud of the opportunity to represent Fanwood and Scotch Plains as part of the 22nd District. I want to thank everybody who's worked so hard to make this evening possible. The committee, the veterans, the musicians, the communities coming together. It really is a tremendous event. I've been here the last few years. It continues to grow, and it just shows how strong this community is, how much people come together. They're working together at both Fanwood and Scotch Plains, as exemplified by our mayors, and to have the opportunity to honor those who gave their lives for our freedoms. Something I've spent a little bit of time thinking about more powerfully. I had the opportunity to be out of this country. I was in Hungary, where they've had a very, very rough history in the 20th century. And walking around, it was very powerful to realize I was really walking amongst people who had lost their freedoms, not only under the Nazis, but then under the communists. When you think about freedom, you think about choices. We have the choice to be here tonight. We have the choice to gather. We have the choice to honor Mr. Nettingham as our Grand Marshal, as well as all who gave their lives, and to thank our veterans. And that's such a blessing for us. My dad was a World War II vet. So this is a very special year for me to take the time in this Memorial Day ceremonies to remember the work of all of our veterans and all that they've done for us. So I'm here to join with you to thank you and to celebrate the freedoms and the choices that we make every day to make our communities stronger and to make this country great. God bless you all. God bless America. And I would like to introduce the mayor of the great city of Scotch Plains, the partner in tonight's show, Kevin Grundle.
Well, good evening, and welcome to the third annual Scotch Plains Fanwood Tribute to Fallen Heroes concert. We gather today and come together as one community to recognize and to thank those outstanding brave men and women who have served and continue to serve our nation, protecting our liberties and our freedom. We come as well to remember those who paid the ultimate sacrifice in service to us while defending our country, our democracy, so that we could live freely. It is my honor as well to recognize this year's Brave Grand Marshal, one of Scotch Plains' own, our Grand Marshal Malcolm Nettingham, 95 years young, you've heard, a member of the Tuskegee Air Corps that served in World War II. Join me again in a round of applause for Mr. Nettingham and a special welcome to his family that have joined us. Mr. Nettingham, gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen, we have an outstanding concert for you tonight, but before we begin, I must recognize members of the Scotch Plains Fanwood Memorial Day Committee. Members who began working together in January on this year's concert and this year's parade that will take place tomorrow. Their dedication and commitment to honoring our servicemen and women and remembering our fallen heroes has enabled this wonderful tradition to continue. Thank you all. They include Chairman Don Wessler, Tony Rhodes, Tony Parenti, Joe Dillon, Ralph Cecchio, Bob LaCosta, Joanne Glover, Joe McCourt, Chris Thompson. A special thank you to Pat Hoynes, and once again a thank you to our freeholders, specifically our neighbor Al Mirabella, for providing us with this wonderful stage tonight. Please again join me in giving them all a round of applause. Thank you again for your hard work. I'd like to recognize my fellow councilmen, women. With us tonight, we have Councilwoman Colleen Gillanella and Councilmen Bo Vastine, Llewellyn Jones, and Mickey Marcus. They're out there, say hello. This is our third annual tribute concert. Tonight's concert, as it has been in the past 2 years, been completely funded by individual and corporate contributions. And I'd like to give a special thank you and recognize Ralph Cecchio for his outstanding fundraising efforts. Thank you, Ralph. You truly were amazing this year. To our sponsors, thank you for making this performance possible, beginning with our 2 charter contributors that helped start this wonderful event. Family Investors Company. Hello, Fred. Thank you. Please stand if you would. One of our charter members. And Dunkin' Donuts right across the street in Fanwood. We thank Dave and the Dunkin' Donuts family in Fanwood for their good contribution. Joining them as gold member sponsors this year are Al Pigner and Sons Masons, Caffrey Tree and Landscaping, Ralph Cecchio Inn, Dan Swayze and Son, G. DeLuca and Sons Masonry, Investors Bank, Schiller and Pittenger, and the Scotch Plains Vietnam Veterans Memorial Committee. Silver donors include Alfonso's Pizzeria and Restaurant of Scotch Plains, John's Meat Market, Canine Resorts, Provident Bank, Unity Bank. Thank you all for being a part of this concert again. Our bronze members include the Fanwood Clipper, Maris Cafe and Bakery, O'Brien's Poorhouse, Scarlet Investment, Mr. and Mrs. Anthony Parenti, Don and Judy Wessler, Two River Community Bank, the Scotch Plains Lions Club, Veterans of Foreign War, Post 10122, the American Legion, Post 209, Mayor Kevin and Mrs. Joanne Glover, and my colleague, Mayor Marr, and her family. I'd ask that you refer to the back of your program to see the complete list of contributors, and take a minute to say thank you to them when you visit them for what they do for our communities every day. Well, it's almost time for our concert. Remember to be with us tomorrow as the parade kicks off at 10 a.m. So before I turn the microphone over to Chief Parenti, I do want to recognize a very special guest in our crowd today, which is my former mayor, Mr. Mayor Mauro Cecchio, who I believe is the oldest living mayor in Scotch Plains, and probably Fanwood for that matter as well. Mr. Cecchio. Well, thank you all. I can hear that band ready to tune up, and I'm going to give the mic. Well, I don't think I'm going to give the mic to anybody. I'm going to turn around and say, Maestro, let's have a concert.
Now you can hear, right? Now we're on the air. In 1952, NBC television produced a documentary about the Second World War, about the Navy specifically, and asked Robert Russell Bennett and Richard Rodgers to write some music. They wrote over 26 hours of music for a program that went the entire year. It was very popular, and anybody who's probably 60 or older remembers this documentary. It's called Victory at Sea. It was very, very successful, very popular. As I said, it was over 26 hours of music. We're going to not play you 26 hours of music, but we'll play you a few minutes. This is from Victory at Sea.
Good evening. I'm Joe McCourt, a U.S. Army veteran of the Vietnam War. Tonight's musical program is complemented by a series of 3 readings entitled Letters. The concert and recitations pay tribute to America's war casualty, who, as President Abraham Lincoln described in the Gettysburg Address, gave the last full measure of devotion. One letter is written by a son to his parents, confirming his obligation to those who gave their lives before him. The other 2 letters are poignant farewells that capture the words of servicemen to their loved ones before they were killed in action. The common thread that binds these letters is love. The letters are quite emotional and moving. I trust that these passages will touch your hearts. On March 30th, 1944, American forces were fighting the last battle of organized resistance in the Admiralty Islands in the South Pacific. U.S. Army Air Forces Captain George F. Frederick of Laurel Springs, New Jersey, volunteered for a mission to clear out the remaining Japanese troops. There, at 1400 hours, he was killed by a sniper bullet. He was 29 years old. He was scheduled to leave for home a few days later to see his son for the first time. The previous summer, Captain Frederick had written a letter to his wife Cleo to be sent to her in the event of his death. New Guinea, July 21st, 1943. My dearest, sweet Cleo, when you read this letter, I will either be missing in action, killed, or captured. And the last possibility is very remote, because if I have any fight left in me, I will give my life to defend not only my country, but the principles on which it was founded. I want you and our child to be able to live in freedom as you want, whatever you want, and do what you want. I want the opportunity for our child to be able to grow up and be kind, gentle, and Christian, not barbarian like those who we are fighting. The Japanese are worse than a pack of animals, because even so-called dumb animals have a sense of fairness. I want a child to be able to go to school and to college, to learn whatever profession he or she wants to learn. If a boy, I want him to grow up and be a better man than his dad. I want him to marry, if he chooses, a wife as kind and as sweet as his mother. If a girl, I know she'll be as fine a wife to some man as you have been to me. Cleo, you will wonder why I have written this. I wonder myself. But last night I lay thinking, what if I should be killed? But Cleo knew what my mind was thinking as to our future. I have no premonition of being killed, and I'm entrusting in the Lord to watch over me and keep me safe. But when he calls, I will be ready. It is a nice feeling, darling, to know that whatever happens to me, I will meet you again someday, but in a home that will be far nicer than any we could ever have here on earth. So don't grieve. Just think that I have gone away for a little while, and I will see you again. There is one favor that I ask. Back home at my church, there's a plot of 3 lots that I have pictured fixing up someday as a child's playground with a tennis court, badminton court, swings, miniature golf, and a sand pile for the little ones. I was hoping to be able to send enough money for that purpose from time to time, so that when I get home, I can fulfill my dreams. So, darling, if you find out how much it would cost to do that, and send the money to the church for the purpose, of course, the whole thing will have a fence around it. Don't forget that. One other thing comes to mind. You are young and beautiful, and no doubt will meet several nice fellows that will want to marry you. The way I look at it, we said we were married until death do us part. Well, when you get this, we will have temporarily parted, but that won't prevent you from marrying again. In heaven, there is no marriage and no death, so we will be together anyway. Therefore, if you meet a nice man who's willing to take you and provide for you and our child, and probably some of his own, then you may have my blessing, and God be with you. All I ask that you make sure he's a church-going man, because if he is, he will be kind and gentle and loving to you. I have tried to be a good Christian. I have sinned, but praise God, I know that he will forgive me my sins, because I believe in the Lord as my personal Savior, and he watches over me always, until he is ready to take me home to glory. Farewell, my darling. Until we meet again, George. 62 years after Captain Frederick's death, his son Clinton, whom George never met, gathered his father's letter and compiled them into a book entitled World War II, A Legacy of Letters, One Soldier's Journey. This collection of letters lets one fallen soldier tell his story and pays tribute to all who did not come home.
Good evening. My name is Sergeant Ernesto Hernandez. I'm from the Scotch Plains Police Department. I am a veteran of the U.S. Air Force, Desert Storm. During Desert Storm, I was security policeman and emergency management at Jeddah Air Base in Saudi Arabia. Captain Rodney R. Chastain from Mobile, Alabama, served with Marine Air Group 13, 1st Marine Air Wing based in Da Nang, Vietnam. Although his 13-month tour in Vietnam was up in September of 1968, he extended for an additional 6 months. He was killed on October 22nd, 1968. He was 25 years old. 19 October 1967. Mom and Dad, your oldest son is now a captain in the United States Marine Corps. I was promoted yesterday. Of all the men selected for captain, 1,640 men, only about 50 have been promoted to date. I was one of the 50, to my surprise and pleasure. My effective date of rank is July 1st, 1967, which means I've technically been a captain for 3.5 months. With this promotion, my annual income is $9,000 a year. I'm single, 24 years old, college educated, a captain in the Marine Corps, and I have $11,000 worth of securities. Not a bad start in life, is it? As I understand, Dad, you were married about this point in life. There was a war going on then, too. I really know very little about those years in my parents' lives. Sometime you will have to tell me about them. What were you doing? What were you thinking? What were you planning? And what were you hoping? Mom, I appreciate your letters. I appreciate your concerns that some of the things you write are trivial, but they're not trivial to me. I'm eager to read about anything, what you are doing or the family is doing. You can't understand the importance of these trivial events take on out here. It helps keep me civilized. For a while, as I read your letter, I'm a normal person. I'm not killing people or worried about being killed. While I read your letters, I'm not carrying guns or grenades. Instead, I'm going ice skating with my brother or walking through a department store to exchange a lampshade. It's great to know that your family is safe, living in a secure country, a country made secure by thousands of men who died for that country. During my leave in the Philippines, I took a long bus ride along the infamous route of the Death March of Bataan in World War II. I passed graveyards that were marked with row after row of plain white crosses. Thousands upon thousands. These were American graves in the Philippines. And I thought about the American graves in Okinawa, France, England, North Africa, Korea, and around the world. And I was proud to be an American, proud to be a Marine, proud to be fighting in Southeast Asia. I have a commitment to the men who have gone before me, American men who made the sacrifices that were required to make the world safe for ice skating, department stores, and lampshades. No, Mom, these things are not trivial to me. They're vitally important to me. Those are the truly important things, not what I'm doing. I hope you will continue to write about those trivial things because it's what I enjoy learning about most. Your son, Ron.
Welcome back to the stage, our featured artist for this evening, Mr. Harry Scotch.
Can you hear me now? Yes, okay. sound that saved a wretch like me. I once was lost, but now am found. 'Twas blind, but now I see.
section is salute to the armed forces. Traditionally, what we like to do is ask if you are a veteran or an active member of the military, that when we get to your selection, your song, your military song, that you stand to be recognized. So this is selection for the military.
Good evening. My name is Major Joe Rodriguez, United States Marine Corps. Also a volunteer firefighter in Scotch Plains. Served several tours. Several tours overseas. The most recent following the attacks in Libya, where Sean Smith, our ambassador, Chris Stevens, Glenn Doherty, and Tyrone Woods were killed. U.S. Army First Lieutenant Todd W. Weaver of Hampton, Virginia, was assigned to 1st Battalion, 320th Field Artillery Regiment, 2nd Brigade Combat Team, 101st Airborne Division Air Assault, based in Fort Campbell, Kentucky. He died on September 9th, 2010, at Combat Outpost Stout, Afghanistan, of wounds suffered when insurgents attacked his unit with an improvised explosive device. Lieutenant Weaver was 26 years old. He wrote a letter to his wife Emma and his baby daughter Kylie to be read in the event of his death. Dear Emma, well, if you're reading this, I guess I did not make it home, and therefore I was not able to remind you again of how much I love you. I love you so much, baby, and I will always love you. Although I may not be here right now, take comfort in the fact that I am watching over you right now. I am not gone, and I will always be with you in spirit. I know this time must be hard for you, but I also know how strong you are. Never forget that God knew what was best for us before we were even born. Take comfort in that. This happened for a reason. Although you may not believe it now, you will one day. I want you to know just how important you are to me. I could not ask for a more caring, beautiful, and loving wife. The memories that we have shared over the last few years have been the best of my life. Although it may seem like my life was cut short, I lived a life that most can only dream of. I married the perfect woman. I have a beautiful daughter that amazed me every day. I even had 2 great dogs, at least most of the time. I couldn't ask for anything more. If you feel sad, just think back to the memories that we shared. Look at our daughter and how beautiful she is. Be strong for her. Remind her about her daddy and tell her that I loved her more than anything else in the world. Her birth was the best day of my life, and she was the best thing that ever happened to me. Her smile and laughter represent all that is good in this and beautiful in this world. Tell her that Daddy is in heaven now, and will watch over her and protect her every minute of every day. I love you, Emma, but never be afraid to do what you need to do to be happy. It is so important that you continue to find happiness in your life. Although you may think this is impossible right now, have faith. Much better times are coming. You and Kylie have a wonderful life ahead of you, and I'm so happy to have shared some of it with you. I love you, your loving husband, Todd. Lieutenant Weaver's wife, Emma, found this document and a letter to his baby daughter, Kylie, on his computer after he was killed during his second tour of duty in Afghanistan. The 3 letters which were read this evening and similar correspondences from fallen warriors provide a tangible connection to the past and humanize our men and women in uniform, capturing their distinct personalities, experiences, and aspirations. Through their words, we see them as more than just soldiers, Marines, airmen, and sailors. They are a parent, a sibling, a child, a fiancé, or a best friend. Ultimately, these letters ensure that we never forget the sacrifices made for our great nation, especially on Memorial Day.
We are indeed very fortunate to have such a terrific singer this evening, and please help me welcome once again to the stage, Carrie Stubb.
It's my pleasure to be here.
trees of green, red roses too, I see them bloom for me and you, and I think to myself, what a wonderful world. I see skies of blue and clouds of white, the bright sacred day, the dark sacred night, and I think to myself, what a wonderful world. Of the rainbow, so pretty in the sky, are also on the faces of people going by. I see friends shaking hands, saying, how do you do? They're really saying, I love you. I hear babies cry, I watch them grow. They'll learn much more than I'll ever know. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. Yes, I think to myself, what a wonderful let us pledge allegiance to a land that's free. Let us all be grateful for a land so fair as we raise our voices in a solemn prayer. God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with the light from above. From the mountains to the prairies to the ocean, white with foam. God bless America, my home, sweet home. God bless America, my home, sweet, sweet
Hey, wait a minute. You're not going to get off that easy.
Your turn. Ready and God bless America. Land. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with the light from above. To the ocean, white with foam. God bless America, my home, sweet home. God bless America, my home, sweet home. Now we're talking.
Thank you very much for attending, and we are going to close with the appropriate selection, Stars and Stripes Forever.
thank everybody for coming. We'll see you at the parade tomorrow, 10 o'clock. And there'll be a Memorial Day service in Fanwood, 9 o'clock by the library. Thank you to the Westfield Community Band, and thank you to our Grand Marshal. Thank you all for coming out. God bless you, and may God bless the United States of America.
Bye-bye.